Imagine spending $70 million just to build a wall thick enough to silence the voice in your head. This isn't a luxury mansion. It's a high-stakes fortress built out of sheer, unadulterated fear. To put that number in perspective, $70 million could buy you every single house on a typical suburban street. 5 times over. Specifically, it equates to roughly 140 middle-class American homes, or 2,100 luxury sports cars. But here at Switzerland's Château El Masr, it only buys you one front door, and the absolute peace of mind that no one else can open it. While the world views this 4,200 square meter estate as the ultimate trophy, these stone walls hide a jarring, deeply human secret in their gilded corners. One that proves no amount of wealth can help you escape yourself. Perched exactly 1,200 feet high above Lake Geneva, this 19th century Gothic Revival fortress stands as a multi-million-dollar bet against time itself, guarded by 14 different layers of high-tech security. But as we climb higher into the private quarters, we'll find one bizarre room that doesn't belong in a fortress at all. It's a discovery that explains why even a billionaire, with a net worth stretching into 10 figures, can still feel like a frightened child in the dark. Take a moment to stop and listen right now. Close your eyes for exactly 3 seconds. That voice you hear in your head, debating whether to keep reading or check your phone, is what author Michael A. Singer calls your inner roommate. Now imagine spending a fortune trying to shut that roommate up. Spoiler alert. It doesn't work. Psychologists have long argued that when we feel empty inside, we try to fill that void with outward symbols of power. In his seminal work The Untethered Soul, Singer describes how humans discover a thorn embedded deep within their psyche. When faced with this internal pain, you have 2 choices. You can either pull the thorn out, or you can spend your entire life building an elaborate protection mechanism to ensure nothing ever touches it. This estate is that exact struggle carved into stone. A $70 million shield built to protect a psychological thorn. It is an island of absolute autonomy constructed for an individual who has conquered the external market, yet still desperately fears the crowd. The grounds themselves function as an active defense network. The perimeter is wrapped in 3.2 miles of reinforced fencing, patrolled by 4 elite greyhounds. The winding approach features 18,500 individual hand-laid cobblestone blocks specifically designed to slow down unauthorized vehicles, while 12 Gothic stone statues line the ridge, deliberately acting as visual blind spots for thermal tracking. But here's the part that actually gives me chills. This isn't just one man's isolated paranoia. El Masr is part of a growing, hyper-defensive trend among the world's top 0.001%, who are quietly abandoning modern, transparent glass penthouses for historical stone strongholds. We see this exact same defensive strategy repeating globally, perhaps most famously at the multi-hundred-million-dollar Château de Louis XIV in France, sprawling across a staggering 54,000 square feet of living space. It looks like a 17th century palace from the outside, but underneath the royalty facade, it was secretly retrofitted from the ground up with military-grade security, biometric access hidden behind medieval woodwork, and an underground bunker system featuring a 45-day self-sustaining life support circuit. These billionaires are spending fortunes to build 21st-century panic rooms disguised as historic monuments, all because they are running away from the unceasing chatter of their own minds. Let's look at the calculus of isolation. If we compute your total isolation by dividing your $70 million in housed assets by your trusted human connections, and that number of connections equals 0, your isolation score approaches infinity. You haven't built a castle. You've built a very expensive calculator that only subtracts. Back inside El Masr, the irony is staggering. The cost to maintain this illusion runs into an estimated $2.4 million annually just for specialized stone heating and fresco restoration. The castle eventually ends up owning the owner, demanding 8,760 hours a year of constant capital just to keep the world at bay. To maintain this hyper-controlled illusion, an army of 22 living ghosts is required. The staff operate under strict, hushed protocols where footsteps must remain below 30 decibels. The volume of a whisper, direct eye contact is restricted to a maximum of 0.5 seconds unless explicitly addressed. And high-tech digital logs trace every single soul moving through the historic stone corridors, updating every 60 milliseconds. One former caretaker remarked that they spent 180 hours meticulously restoring a 19th century fresco in the Grand Hall, only to realize the owner hadn't entered that wing of the castle in 1,095 days. The estate demands an entire workforce just to keep a single man completely alone with his thoughts. Singer notes that the problem with defending your limitations is that you become a prisoner to them. The owner of El Masr has become the ultimate warden of his own consciousness. Step past the threshold, and every inch of this room is a psychological trick. But remember, we're finally approaching that one room I mentioned earlier. The space that proves all this heavy armor is actually hiding something very soft. The architecture here functions as pure ego, a direct, aggressive violation of modern minimalist trends. The silence isn't empty, it's heavy, registering at an eerie 0 decibels in the inner chambers due to specialized acoustic dampening. The true, jarring nature of El Masr lies in these physical contradictions. You run your hand over a rough, hand-carved stone wall from 1850, only to feel the subtle, microscopic 0.02 mm seam of a flush-mounted laser scanner. The massive oak doors look like they require a rusted medieval key, but they are weighted with internal steel plating weighing 450 pounds per leaf and operated by a silent hydraulic system calibrated to a single iris scan. Imagine the sharp echo of your footsteps on polished marble with dark lines designed to dominate. Or the muffled clink of a massive glass chandelier swaying in a draft you can't feel. Overhead, intricate blue and gold Corford ceilings hold those massive light fixtures, weighing over 800 pounds each. Like frozen explosions above gold-framed furniture, it deliberately utilizes scale and shadow to make the human occupant feel small. A physical manifestation of a mind trying to intimidate its own internal insignificance. Deep within this heavy quiet, massive wooden desks with gold carvings sit beneath tall, arched windows, while a grandfather clock in the corner ticks away, tracking the 86,400 seconds we are all given each day. It is the haunting sound of a life spent accumulating power, counting down the seconds of a mortal life trying to negotiate with eternity. At this level of wealth, you have to ask yourself, is this true freedom? Or is it just a golden cage operating on a 24-hour surveillance loop? Do a 180-degree flip and look at the nearest wall next to you right now. Touch it. It's real. It separates you from the outside. Now, answer this honestly. Is that wall keeping something bad out? Or is it keeping your true self trapped inside? The billionaire paid $70 million to avoid answering that exact question. To reach the ultimate inner sanctum, you must pass through a secondary security threshold. A narrow, windowless corridor where the grand architecture abruptly dies. Here, The gold leaf disappears and the marble gives way to plain, sound-dampening acoustic panels. It feels less like a castle and more like a submarine decompression chamber, a place where the weight of $1 billion empire is stripped away. But as you move past the cold marble, the gold stencils, and the high-tech security barriers, you finally hit that sudden, jarring vulnerability. Tucked away in a gilded corner is an unexpected collection of 37 plush stuffed animals, tigers, and teddy bears piled high. It is the exact moment the fortress becomes human, exposing a profound internal truth that the untethered soul warns us about. If you do not find freedom within your own consciousness, you will try to protect your vulnerable inner child by conquering the outer world. We build empires of intellectual luxury, invest millions into high-security strongholds, and surround ourselves with cold stone, only to fill the empty spaces with the soft, desperate reminders of childhood comfort. When the external market is perfectly conquered, the internal chaos remains completely untouched. You can buy the world, but you still have to live with the person who bought it. We build our castles, fortify them against the crowd with 12-gauge steel doors, and sit by the quiet, chlorinated water of an indoor pool heated to precisely 78 degrees Fahrenheit, wondering if the very walls we built to keep the world out have ultimately locked us in. And perhaps they have, for if the power grid fails, or if the chaos the owner so deeply fears finally comes to pass, the mansion's hyper-advanced locks are designed to default to total lockdown, dropping the 2-inch thick steel shutters and sealing the gates from within in less than 1.5 seconds. In his absolute, frantic quest to ensure no one could ever break in, the billionaire successfully built a machine that ensures he can never get out.